Welcome to Inside the Deal. I'm Trent Zeigler, your host, and this is where we break down how real operators are building, scaling, and closing deals in real estate today. Today, I'm joined by Ana Zecca, owner at the Zecca Realty Group. Appreciate you being here, Anna.
Yes, hi, how are you? Thank you so
Doing
much
well.
for inviting me today. As you mentioned, I am the owner and the broker of Zecca Realty Group in Miami. We're actually located in Doral, and it's a boutique firm.
Nice.
Yes, and I started, my background is from hospitality. That's how, I started all the experience that I have today is from working in luxury market and the hospitality industry with international clients, doing sales marketing, and that is what shaped who I am today in my business in real estate.
Yeah, awesome. So what does your business, what does Zecca Realty do at a high level?
Well, we take care of obviously of the buyers and the sellers and the investors. That's a market that we cover. So we work the South Florida market. We have from investors, repeat clients to pre-construction to first-time buyers, repeat sellers. And that's basically what we service. Yes, we do handle a little bit of the residential leasing market because our investors will buy their properties and have them as net income, and that's one of the reasons that I do continue working with them year after year because they, have a group of properties or an amount of properties that, basically we service every year
Yeah.
nonstop.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So give me the quick backstory. How did you get where you are today?
I am here today again because of the background in sales and marketing. I come from a career in hospitality, and then I've been more than 23 years in real estate business, and that combination is what has shaped to be what I am today.
Yeah.
Work in the luxury market, but at the end of my career, I worked for the boutique resorts, and that kind of gave me the ground and the, I guess, uniqueness to service a boutique area, the boutique market,
Yeah.
even though I work for larger companies in real estate earlier, when I opened my firm, I decided that I wanted to maintain it boutique, more quality than quantity. And
Yeah.
that's how we work with. Yeah.
Understood. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So zooming out and talking about the industry a little bit more there in Miami, what major shifts are you seeing in Miami right now?
Well, it is, I think it's not necessarily slow, it's just more selective. The
Mhm.
buyers are more educated. They're more taking their time to decide what they want, the market they want. They are more qualified, so you have to take the time to create relationships more than creating volume. You do
Mhm.
have to have that type of relationship where you connect with that particular buyer or seller. Uh, what's happening in Miami is that buyers are still looking and they're getting educated and more taking their time. The sellers, some of them are into the past. They still are, financially or emotionally attached to the price of their homes or their properties. And that's where we're having a disconnect.
Okay.
Basically, the sellers are in the past and they're not into the present
Mhm.
with the industry. And that's what I think we're having in Miami, besides obviously the luxury market is a
Mhm.
different level where you have a cash buyer coming from New York or from California, and they come and buy, millions of dollars of property. But we have a middle class, a high end class market, and not now we're having a switch. Basically, the low in, the medium class are having a little bit more difficulty purchasing a property
Mhm.
uh, due to the interest rates, the insurance and everything in Miami, but it's still very productive. We have transactions every single day. We have purchases and sales every single day. However, we're getting into that upper market,
Right.
which is very competitive.
Yeah. So how has that impacted your business and your growth strategy?
Well, being a small boutique, it creates disconnect as well. Why?
Mhm.
Because we have bigger companies or larger teams out there that service different level of clientele. So if we'll still have transactions every day and we still service a base of a clientele because we work not based on volume, but it's more on relationships. And we try to obviously service every single customer that we have, but that high market for a company as small as mine, it does make a difference.
Yeah.
They tend to work with more larger teams. They do more marketing. They are out there. They have regional offices. They have branches, or they have offices in another state. So they kind of, refer their business. But we have a strong base of our clients for many years. And even though we're not, with the competition at that level, we're still here standing with Zecca Realty Group after 7 years that we're actually celebrating next week.
Nice.
And that is a big
Congratulations.
accomplishment
Yeah.
for a real estate company of this size.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, as far as zooming in on your business, Zecca Realty, what's working well for you guys right now?
What is working well for us is obviously, again, qualifying that customer. If it's a buyer, even if it's a seller, what is the direction that they want? What is that they want in return? Their net return. If it's a seller, how position the property, how we can list it. Basically, the normal real estate,
Mhm.
procedures, which is, marketing, social media, open houses, you name it. But then you have the buyers. Again, now, while everything is going so fast right now with the business and online, and they're very savvy. The buyers go and they pick the property that they want. You
Yeah.
still have to have a one-on-one conversation. They still need to be guided when it comes to purchasing, even if it's cash, even if it's a high-end client. They need attention. They need a follow-up. They need to make sure that they trust, what you're doing. You need to have a team within your group, even if it is outsourced, let's say vendors, who's going to do the title, who's going to do the inspection, and so forth.
Yeah.
And that provides trust. That creates a trust, a line that, yes, you're going to deliver as promised, and and it's who you work with. It's not about volume as much as the quality. And I take the time to qualify the potential client
Mhm.
and make sure that I can convert that or that prospect into a customer and deliver as promised. Could
Right.
be, like I said, purchase or sale. The goal is to obtain that property, negotiate on the behalf of that customer, and hand the key. Or if it's a seller, that you will give them the net return of that transaction, regardless if it's downsizing, if it's an investor, if it's cashing out on their equity.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that the number that you provided, or the projections that you provided to that client, comes true.
Yeah.
That's how you create a client for the rest of your life, even if it's a
Absolutely.
one time or repeat customers.
Yeah.
For me, that is prime in my business.
Yeah. So
The reputation.
quality over quantity, quality
Always
over
been,
quantity, and investing in relationships.
always been, and not everybody thinks the same way,
Yeah.
because this is a very busy industry, it's very competitive, but that's my forte. Basically, is creating relationships over transactions. Once you have that relationship, you will succeed.
Right. Awesome. Well, on the other side of the leaf, what's been frustrating for you right now in your business?
Well, it gets frustrating again, not having the right the right or pre-qualified buyer or seller. There is some client that don't convert. They are shopping around, and not necessarily that is frustrating, but having experience about it. If you from the beginning have your guidelines and your ground on how you're going to take care of that particular prospect, regardless if it says one transaction or the other,
Mhm.
that will save you time, energy, and money. Time is money, and we don't have the time to be just basically working with non-qualified clients.
Right.
That is, from the beginning, we need to know if that particular prospect, if it's a purchase, regardless of the price, qualifies.
Right.
If it's cash, we need to see proof of funds, why they're relocating, what is the intention of their investment.
Yeah.
Obviously, you go to a limit. How much can you ask when you're trying to qualify someone?
Mhm.
But I'm getting a little bit more strong about it, so
Mhm.
that we don't waste time. Time
Right.
is money,
Right.
so that we can do the right job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, shifting over to talking about deals a little bit, what's the best deal that you've ever done and what made it a win?
Well, basically, I work with an international customer, in a pre-construction deal. And it's, again, they're trusting or they're learning to trust what you're offering. Sometimes they're buying from overseas or they might travel down,
Mhm.
but the trust is the same. Basically, you need to make sure that you not only find the right property for that individual, that the conditions and the terms are the way they're supposed to be. They understand the terms and that you basically go through the process, guide them all the way to be successful. So that is when you build relationship. And then when you do a good deal and they're happy, when you see them super excited when they're closing, because buyers are emotional. They
Mhm.
buy by emotion, sellers, they're different.
Mhm.
And you bring them into the closing table and you see, that's their home or dream come true or investment property. It means that I did something right. And that happened to one couple that I had to do that transaction, from an international buyers.
Yeah.
And it ended up being, a very good experience. And they were totally, happy. They were satisfied. And for me, that is more important than the price of the property, how much, was the transaction, etc. Because I created that relationship with them and they refer business. And that's how I work with referrals. The majority of my business are from people that refer me to take care of their business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Invest in relationships, they come back and get you.
That's prime. That's key.
Yeah.
Because yes, might be a one-time deal with that individual, that client, but it might be a repeat. And that's even if they only use you once, because sometimes people just buy one property for the lifetime. They'll refer you if they're happy with the results, and
Yeah.
that has never failed.
Right.
Sometimes there is a difference of style, when you're working with other individuals. This is not a one-on-one deal. You
Mhm.
have many individuals involved from different areas of real estate, and that is the challenge sometimes. But if you get along and you follow everything and everybody works, that's why a team is very important. Who
Right.
do you work with? Because then there you can finish what you're trying to do. Basically finish a transaction successfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, talking about the future a little bit, where is your company heading towards? Where do you want to be
Well,
in
I want
15?
to obviously elevate my marketing in the sense, and I want to elevate the clientele, the base, because we're seeing that uh, change in the real estate in Miami,
Mhm.
more high end. So I'm trying to not only with the branding, which while I'm small, I am known in the industry in South Florida and well established with a great rapport, from colleagues and clients, and that puts me in a position that I can go to the next level. And that is obviously with social marketing, with social media marketing, enhancing the presentation, doing, in this case, a podcast. I get interviewed a lot on editorial, and that has bring success
Mhm.
to be known, even though I'm not a large company. I receive awards, which is not about me as a person, but it means as the work that I have done with my company, and
Mhm.
that is being recognized.
Yeah.
And that's something that brings me satisfaction because that means that we're trustable and that we can service a different level of clientele. Doesn't matter the price. Every customer, it has to be treated regardless if they're buying 500,000 or 5 million or
Mhm.
10 million. You still have to take care of them. Never underestimate a customer when you service them.
Yeah.
So it's basically elevating my marketing, enhancing the presence. Network is important, editorial, obviously online. You have to be
Yeah.
online and being found, so that other markets, other areas they can find you. And I'm actually being, saw from more than, 5 million, that the marketing is working. So they are contacting me
Mhm.
and it's something that we're creating as we
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's
Yes.
what is the biggest bottleneck in you achieving those goals, and what's the cost of not solving that bottleneck?
Again, is time. You cannot waste time and you need to be very selective. Not every deal is a good deal.
Yeah.
And that is something that agents have to learn. As a broker, I doesn't mean I choose who I work with, but I'm being more selective. I'm trying to grow the quality, and I have worked with this market or this higher market. It is qualifying, making sure that yes, this is the right deal. When you're in the industry, that sometimes it's like they give you let's say a listing, and the listing, might be a couple $1,000,000. You think that's the best deal.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the seller or the buyer, in this case, a seller, might not be ready.
Right.
Even if they're not detached, they don't want to sell. It doesn't matter what you do. That challenge, you have to learn that since the beginning and learn when to say, no, thank you. I'm not going to take the listing. When it's overpriced, when it's not well positioned, when the seller doesn't cooperate, when not everybody's in the same team, that can break the success of any transaction. And you can only try as a professional to guide your client, but if they don't want to follow, what needs to take place, and I have experienced that in the past, that means that that's not the right deal.
Right.
And I learned to choose what is the right deal.
Yeah.
Even at this level of company, so that there's no, hitting the wall and ended up frustrated. And that a lot of the agents don't recognize that. They don't see it.
Yeah.
They're just hungry for business, not necessarily because they're not professional, that they're, they want more business, which everybody wants more business.
Yeah.
It is the right business for your company. It is the right business. It feels right. And yes, or forget about the client. It's about the transaction. Can I deliver? Can I do a good job? If I don't feel that, not because I'm doing something necessarily incorrect, it's because there is a block. And that happens sometimes with buyers and sellers, that they just want to put their property out there to see what comes, but they're not ready to sell. And you ended up not failing, but not be able to, because they don't want to sell the property.
Right.
And I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Yes. Quality and time.
Quality and time.
Yeah. So where do you see AI playing a role? Well, where does AI currently play a role in your business, if it does? And
well, it helps to be more effective in the lead qualification, more organized, even CRM systems, helping to create, for example, Google Forms just to qualify someone rather than asking for simple, information like when do you want to buy, where you want to come from, systems. However, that should help the professional, but you still have a one-on-one relationship with that customer.
Right.
AI cannot replace that human connection.
Right. Yeah.
It can elevate and save you time and help you with your marketing, with your content, with the presence, how you want to even do a description of a property. But when you sit down with a client, that is still one-on-one. You cannot replace that with AI, even if it's a great tool. And I use it a lot for the business, and I use it for, as you know, my foundation, which is Toy Driving Events. For me, the impact is that I deliver, happiness, or I call it the American dream to customers, but I also do it for the community. It goes one-on-one. And so that helps be able to service my business and also be able to dedicate time to nonprofit, which is one of my missions as an individual. That has helped me be able to do both. And without lacking in either or, because of AI. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where do you see, I guess, the most potential, getting more specific, where do you see the most potential for AI in these processes that you have, or that, the real estate industry at large has to be?
Well, I think the agents need that guidance. I mean, not everybody can afford to have a personal assistant, a marketing assistant, a marketing social media guru. Most agents don't either. They can't afford, even if they're big teams. And yes, they do have their individuals, which also they're going to have to use AI, because this is now the new thing that is not necessarily taking over our industry. Again, I no worry about my relationship with my clients, because even if there's system and there's a lot of individuals that can go and buy a property without even having a conversation with an agent or a brokerage, use that facilitates, it will help, like I said, grow and maybe expand in the sense like individual agents, not necessarily having an assistant, but they can use AI, use
Mhm.
their systems and grow with that, learn many things that as agent, necessarily it's not about having experience or how many years you're in the industry, but it saves time. It will save time to qualify, uh, create relationships rather than being in a system trying to do, let's say, a contract or
Mhm.
doing a marketing piece or doing content that you can have AI give you that extra layer of support
Mhm.
within having an office and having, let's say, management and having a team. You still know everybody's, the team will not do your marketing
Right.
unless you have an in-house, you're a larger company, and everything has a price. So if you can have a more personalized presentation within, let's say, an agency or a brokerage, and it can be about you, the agent, not about XYZ Realty, and be able to, deliver that presence online, it's just going to make them grow and
Mhm.
look more professional, be more knowledgeable, have more time to get more experience, and together be able to obtain more business at the end of the day. And I think AI in that sense has helped, is helping, but we still need that human connection.
Right. No,
That is
absolutely.
absolutely is necessary
Yeah.
in order to talk to. I have clients that are well experienced. They can work on their own. They don't need representation because they're already savvy. They have 20, 30 properties, and
Mhm.
they still make that phone call or they send me that text. Ana, I need you to list my property.
Yeah.
For 15 years, even though we have more evolution, they can use AI, they can put by owner, they can do description, they can do anything without the license. They
Mhm.
still need the professional. We
Yeah.
get trained every day. We are liable for everything we do, and everything changes, and we have to be up to code literally every month. We need to
Mhm.
know why everything is changing, the laws, everything regardless real estate in this case. It is very important that, so if sometimes agents or their managers, because they make so many changes, we have so many changes that we have to be, literally taking a class every week, and we don't
Mhm.
have the time. AI helps because it
Yeah.
will analyze that particular law, not necessarily changing an attorney, because I do rely on an in-house attorney for
Mhm.
everything I do. That sometimes we might have a doubt. This is a very complex market. I will rely on a human, meaning an attorney,
Yeah.
title in a title company, inspection and an inspection. Everybody has their title,
Yeah.
uh, but it will facilitate and maybe expedite situations. And
Mhm.
that I have worked with, and it has helped me a lot with with transactions that are a little bit complex. That you just want to make sure that you can assist your customers as a real estate professional
Yeah.
to a level that should be done this way, or they can be guided. And I think that has been very good. It saves a lot of time in the transaction, so there's
Yeah.
no mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, closing out here, if you had to give somebody some advice that was getting into real estate, what advice would you give them?
Learn, follow up themes, follow someone that knows more than you, get together, team up. Okay, someone with experience, they can be the best teachers. Um, Qualify, create relationships over transactions. The transactions will come your way if you create transactions. Anyone you meet, put them into your database.
Hmm.
Create a CRM, send them. Don't sell anything if you don't have the sale listing, okay? But you can send them a weekly, about the industry, what's happening, what's going on, and whoever you meet, get that information into your database and qualify. Qualify. Don't waste time. Don't go just for what think is the right thing with a right deal and doesn't feel well. Make sure that that buyer is ready, that that seller is ready, and once you create that relationship, you build that trust over transactions, you're going to be able to be successful. You're going to have clients calling you, people referring you. It takes one good deal, but it
Hmm.
takes one bad deal
Right.
to ruin your reputation.
Hmm.
Reputation is key in this industry. Following the law, I'm a broker, so I speak as a broker. Okay, it's not just about knowing the contracts. You need to understand them. You don't interpret them. You follow the contracts, and if you don't know, as we have many resources, and don't go that way because someone told you. Okay, if you're not sure, ask for your broker, your manager, and create relationships.
Right.
One deal can convert into two, three, four, five. One bad deal will ruin your reputation. And
Right.
that is something that I shield very much. Our licenses are, you have to protect every day because sometimes unknowingly agents break the law just because
Mhm.
they don't know.
Yeah.
Not because they're not doing something right. They just don't know when they're new. And that's why you have to take your courses, take your classes. We get post education. We have to be always learning. You're not sure? Call the hotline, real
Mhm.
estate attorneys. Don't go into the wrong path or the wrong way because you thought that that was the right thing.
Right.
And real estate is not about assumption.
Hmm.
You have to be sure of what you're doing. And again, I think more before that, because that's part of being a real estate professional, it is building trust and building relationships.
Yeah.
And anyone that you have a contact with, any communication, doesn't matter where you are, it is a potential customer. Doesn't matter where you are. You can be in a park, you can be in an office, you can be the dentist, you can go anywhere, even a restaurant.
Yeah.
Everybody, in one time or not, will either buy, sell, lease, or rent.
Yeah.
So you have to see everybody around you. You don't have to sell yourself. You just have
Yeah.
to say, by the way, this is my
Put on
business.
your
This is
sales
my
goggles.
business card. Yeah, this is my business card. I personally don't pursue in the sense that I don't. If you were having a conversation, I will tell you
Mhm.
that I'm a real estate, agent or broker,
Yeah.
and I'll give them my business card and I'll give them my foundation because I do both right
Yeah.
now. But doesn't mean I ask for your number.
Hmm.
I don't solicit. More
Right.
in real estate, you have to be careful. But if
Hmm.
they need me, I say, if you need me, give me a call. If that individual texts me or call me, you better bet it's going to become my client. Then
Yeah.
I'm going to go very strong into it
Yeah.
because they need my services.
Hmm.
But I don't go everywhere selling who I am or what I do. I just say, this is my profession. This is
Yeah.
who I am. This is what I do. Yes, if I see a buy owner, I might send them if it's allowed, because now the same thing, you have to be very careful legally.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's not the way I do business.
Yeah.
I don't go and knock door. Well, you have to do it. You have to go knock doors.
Mhm.
Okay. It's all this. The beginning, you have to do everything that you're taught to do.
Yeah.
Then, when you have more experience and you have more reputation and you have more business, then you can become more selective. But in the sense of making sure that your time will generate business.
Yeah.
It will service the needs of your customer and that you will be successful rather than having 20 customers and then you're not going to service that client. You're not going to have the time unless you have a whole team, and then you might fail in trying to please, but to service everyone.
Yeah.
Be
Absolutely.
selective and you'll succeed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So if people want to find you, where can they find you at?
Well, as you know, my name is Ana Zecca. My company is Zecca Realty Group. I'm the only Ana Zecca in the market. I live in South Florida. And you can find me on social media under ZeccaRealtyGroup.com, or you can go into social media under Zecca Realty Group, or obviously Ana Zecca, your broker. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram is our biggest tool. We are even in TikTok. And we're online, so we do Google, obviously. So if you Google my company, or you Google my name, which is, right here, right there, you're going to be able to find me. There, I cannot hide, right there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that way. And yeah, so my last name, just put in my last name. Yes, there's another team that is similar called Second Group. but Zecca Realty Group is under Ana Zecca, the broker. So that's where you find me.
Nice. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Thank you
if you're
so
in
much,
Miami,
Trent.
yeah, if you're in Miami and you want some, if you're looking for some property, reach out to Zecca Realty Group. Thanks for coming on today and giving us some insight into your operations, Anna.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm so excited because this has opened the door to more podcasts, actually. So I think it was a good
Oh, nice.
day today. I have done one already. I think I shared that with you a couple of
Okay.
years back. But this is just warming up now. For some reason, I guess because of my editorial and my awards,
Mhm.
our couple companies interested in learning more about Second Realty Group. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Why not? It's very welcome, and I hope that I gave you the good insight for the client, for future clients, for the consumer, and also for the real estate industry, so that they can learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. I say knowledge is wealth, so thanks for spreading your wealth with us today.
Thank you, Trent. I really appreciate it. So.